I spent 4 days practicing different expressions. Hi, I'm lionbunny and I am a charcoal artist. This video will be split into 4 parts of the expression I practiced over the 4 days. Looking back on my work, I noticed that I constantly do more neutral expressions, so I decided to change that up and practice more dynamic ones. So let's go! First up, Ophelia. The expression in this one, given the context of this scene, is actually supposed to be sadness behind a smile, because this is the scene where Ophelia starts to give out flowers as her character descends into madness. It's very hard to capture that, not given the context to a piece, so it didn't exactly turn out the way that I expected or really wished for. Also, I'm quite bad at explaining things, which is why I don't really do tutorials. I did see a few people mention in some of my comments that if I can make a tutorial about like charcoal or my technique, and I would love to, but I'm really bad at explaining stuff. I'm not really an eloquent person. I'll still put it in so you can listen to it, but it's not that good, be warned.
So basically right now what I'm doing is getting the basic shadows. I simplify it in my mind. With here, it's like a triangle, so I make it like a triangle-ish shape here. And also her chin, I try and get the shadow on her chin, and then the basic lines here. Like if I just simplify her, not silhouette, her basic shapes, right? And then after I get the simplified version, I do her facial features. I also simplify her face as well, like her features. So that's why I'm like doing little lines and I'm doing it with my finger, because my finger can make the stuff like this. Like if you do a line like that, I can simplify it to however I want, like this. Use the power of the finger to just make the line itself. I don't have to do much to add layering on it. And then I do just small lines and then not do a whole sketch, because I want myself to slowly guide myself to figure out the silhouette. Like an approximate guess about where it will be. And then so I just do like that. I did a bit too much that time. And if there's something off, then I just erase it. And just now, I made the line like too thick, so I'm making it thinner by the eraser. And if I need more like specific like strokes and lines that my finger cannot give because of the roundness of it and it's not sharp. My finger's not sharp, duh, but if I need a sharper edge, then I will use the blending stump. Like this, I do this, and then I get a more straight line that my finger cannot give me. I do this often for hair, fingers, specific facial features.
At first, I wanted to challenge myself with doing an expression like this, and I think that I kind of did that, but in the end, she looks more thankful and happy rather than what is actually happening in the scene that is playing out, if that makes any sense.
Also, another thing that I do, if I want a darker color, I have my charcoal blocks right here. You can see there are different values. I use my blending stump, and I think I'll use... This edge is harder, like the tip. This edge, it feels a bit softer. And besides, it's already in this value already. So perhaps if I want this value, I use this edge. But if I want this value, I do this. And then now when I press it, it'll make a darker value. And then when I do this, it will make a lighter value. I have no idea if my camera caught that. I want to do her like the eye line, and I need a darker value for it. So that's why I did this. You can see a difference visibly.
But also I do realize that actually achieving that is quite difficult, and I would need to make her sadness more obvious in some parts. Actually, I still really like the outcome. This is actually one of the best happy expressions I've done in a long time. Even though there are some flaws, like one eye is a bit bigger than the other. Besides, the rendering for the bottom half is absolutely terrible because I got quite lazy during the latter half of this process. Also, at one point, I accidentally filmed this process using portrait mode and not landscape mode because I was so used to filming. I forgot that I was filming a long form video, so I just did it by habit. So if the angle for some clips of this process look a bit weird, then you know why. While doing this expression, I focused on a few things, particularly how the face shape changes to match an emotion. And at some points during this drawing, I actually took a step back and then made her facial expression myself. I actually did it myself, so I can like visibly feel feel what parts curve inwards, what parts smile. Doing it myself just kind of helped me, like just guided me a little bit. I particularly love the eyebrows and eyes, how they contort to different facial features, how dynamic the eyebrows and eyes are to express emotions. Like it's amazing and can be done in many different styles. The hands, we don't talk about the hands, and the clothes are not rendered. The only part that is actually rendered is the face, because that is what my goal was for this piece. But in the end, I like it. Even though the end result didn't turn out like how my initial goal was, I still think I got something from this process. And when I showed it to my mom, she said not bad, which for my mom means really good. And then she said that she can actually see that she's like feeling like thankful or happy. And then she told me that it was well done, so I'll take it. In the end, this piece took 3 hours and 55 minutes. Second up is Princess Mononoke. The expression for this one is anger. This scene is of Princess Mononoke fighting Lady Eboshi towards the beginning part of the movie. What I love about this reference here is how you can sense the tension and the friction between the two characters while they're fighting. If you know my work, I never really draw more than one person in the piece. Not only challenge myself in terms of movement and causing tension between two people in being shown in an artwork, but also I did Totoro and Kiki, as you can see behind me, and those are one of the only stylistic pieces I've ever done. So I wanted to also do stylized faces more. In the end, I think I did kind of achieve what I set out to do. You can clearly see that there is tension between them and they're fighting, obviously, right? My favorite part about this piece is how I did Princess Mononoke's expression. It's not 100% accurate to the reference. I did change the angle a little bit and all that. The face is like a bit too close together, but anyway, I like how like you can see the grit in her face and the focus, and I love the way the eyebrows are like all like just drawn in. Like it's just, I really like it. Another part I like is the shadows, actually, on Lady Eboshi's face in particular, and between the shadow and the light, I highlighted the specific line. I googled it and I think it's called the Terminator line, and normally when you see it, it's darker in contrast to the shadows at the back and the light at the front. It's like a differentiator, I guess. And I could like see it just a little bit in the reference as well. And then I think it really makes a nice touch. I don't know why, but I really like that part. In total, this piece took 4 hours and 27 minutes. As you can see this far into the video, I do a lot of little fun charcoal pieces, so if you want to see more of that and support me in the process, then you can hit subscribe and like. It's completely optional, but if you do, thank you so much. It really supports me, and hope you have a great time here. Okay, day 3, Cupid and Psyche. Sorry if I'm saying her name wrong. This expression is about love. Looking back, I probably could have chosen a better reference for this. I don't know why I decided to divert from like the movie references I've been going with so far. I really wish that I did this scene from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'll show it here. It's so good. I really want to draw it, but I didn't find this photo back then. And since the reference is not human but statues, it will be a bit different because they don't have pupils. Looking back at it now though, I could change some things. I didn't see it at the time, but looking at it now, it looks unfinished, and I think I know why. I think the hair is the main problem on Cupid. I think the hair is way too detailed because I used a white charcoal pencil to get the more like thinner light strands of hair that you can like see in the reference a little, and I overdid it way too much. For the rest of the piece, I made it very simplified, so if I complicate and over render one area, it will visibly be so different from the rest. It won't have that balance anymore, so I think I ruined the balance that way. And also the shadows, I feel like are not intense enough and not defined enough. Also Cupid's nose. You don't know how long I struggled with the nose. I struggled with it for like at least an hour or something. It felt like an hour at least. In the end, it still doesn't look that great. As for the expression itself, our main goal here, I like it. I actually really like the expression. I think it's the main standout point from it. For the outcome, as with every piece, I have something that I could do better and then something that I gained from it. Like, yeah, it's a two-way street. Anyway, the end time for this one is 3 hours and 25 minutes. Day 4 is from Black Swan. The expression here is worry or perhaps a quiet distress. While doing this drawing, I really realized that I need to buy a drawing stand. I didn't quite realize how important it was until this video. Until the making of this video. The angle in which I'm sitting makes the scale and proportions seem different. Like it's a flat surface, but I'm not seeing it from above. I'm seeing it from like a more tilted point of view. When I like hold it up, I am horrified at what I see because the proportions sometimes are like way off, and then at that point I may be too far into the rendering, and that's exactly what happened with this piece. So yeah, because of the angle that I sat in, the face turned out not wide enough. The proportions are not that great. It could be like moved or like stretched differently. But I love the eyes and eyebrows though. Those are my favorite parts of this piece. I actually like the expression on this piece as well. So at the end, I like the piece, but I don't think it looks like the person in the reference. I think it's okay. It doesn't look like the character, but I'll let it pass for now. And also I could have done the farther left eye a little differently. Overall, I really like it, and I think it was a really good practice. Oh damn, I forgot to calculate the final time. Quick math due to my memory about how long the recording was. 2.5 hours to 3 hours. Yeah, that's the end time. And that is it for this video. This was actually initially going to be a full week filming process of 7 days of doing art studies in my sketchbook of different things that I struggle with. Some plans came up, so I had to put those on hold, and in the end I only drew things for 4 days. I still wanted to make a video out of it, so here it is. Anyways, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. It means the most, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!